Hi, welcome to section 1.2. We're going to talk about the place value process. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to describe the decimal system. So what is the decimal system? It is simply a system of recording numbers. All right, so the history of it comes from the Middle East and from around 500 to 800 AD. Now, one thing you have to understand about the decimal system and the place value is that mastering it is the most challenging aspect of elementary school mathematics. Students struggle when they're trying to figure out, when do I borrow? When do I carry? What does each place value technically mean? And it's very crucial that you give them a solid foundation of their place value. So we're going to talk about denominations. Denominations is something you start out with kids, and basically you're teaching them bundle sizes or how much you're going to carry over. Your book's going to use the word bundles. So bundle sizes, and in this case, it's going to be of 10. So one way you can help students identify bundle sizes is by using money. Tell them, okay, if I have a $1 bill and if I take it times 10, I can exchange it for a $10 bill. So now we moved over in place value. If I take it times 10 again, I can exchange it for a $100 bill. Okay, so it gets kids to understand, well, as the one moves to the left, I increase in value. And it's in groups of 10. All right, let's talk about the thought process. Or the thinking process behind it. All right, when you first are teaching place value, you're going to start kids with a concrete thought. Concrete would be manipulatives. In this case, it's going to be base 10 blocks. And we're going to do a little work with base 10 blocks in class. Your book will call it counting blocks. So you're going to get students playing with these things. Once you get them playing with them and understanding, okay, if I have 10 little blocks, I can exchange it for a row of blocks. So let me just draw a quick picture of what base 10 blocks look like. So each little individual box represents a 1. So here I have 10 ones. Well, what I can do is I can exchange them for a row of 10. Okay, and so then I would exchange them, I would bundle them together. Then if I had 10 of those lined up, then we have something that looks like this. Okay, those are base 10 blocks. Kids get to play with those. Once they get past just playing with them, then they're going to put everything to pictures. So we're going to call this pictorial. Okay, this is where we're going to introduce what's called the chip model. Or we're going to use words, and we're going to use expanded form. Once we get past the pictorial, Then we're going to get to the abstract thought. This is where we're going to start dealing with our algorithms. This is where, when we add, subtract, multiply, or divide, we go through our rules, we go through an algorithm that always works, we carry, we borrow, things like that. But what we first have to do is you have to get kids to understanding what's actually going on, okay? So let's try to understand this place value process using what we call counting blocks, or in other words, base 10 blocks. All right, so basically we have bundles that are of 1, 10, 100, 1,000, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw some base 10 blocks. We're going to do this, like I said, in class. So we're going to actually jump forward to the drawing of it, chip model. And it's the chip model is we're gonna use what we call a place value house. I'm gonna break this up into sections. Okay, so this is going to be the hundreds section. This is going to be the tens, and this is going to be the ones. So 439 is equal to 400 plus 30 plus 9. So if I put 400 in here, there's the 400. If I put 3 tens in here, there's the 30. And if I put 9 ones, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There we go. That represents 439. Okay, so that's fine. We don't do anything. We're reborrowing, or we're regrouping, or we're rebundling, or anything like that. Sometimes it's necessary to rebundle, and that means to ensure that there are at most only 9 bundles of each denomination. So we can never have more than 9 ones in the 1 spot. We could never have more than 9 tens in the 10 spot, and the 9 hundreds in the 100 spots, and vice versa. So the question is, how would we rebundle and go from 439 to 440? So in class, we're going to talk about the base 10 blocks. So you would have them physically do that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have them draw it. And they're going to use the chip model for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw your place value house. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw one more, because we're going to draw what is going to happen. All right, so let's draw 439. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 400. And that's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to add 1. So basically, we're taking 439. We're going to add 1 to it. So if we add 1 right here, then what's going to happen is we're going to take all of these things and we're going to rebundle and say, hey, I have 10 ones, which I can now move to the 10 spot. So what I have now is I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The hundreds didn't change. But instead of only having 3 tens, we're going to have 4 tens, And we're not going to have any ones because we moved them over. So, in other words, 439 plus 1 is equal to 440. All right. So, the next example, it says count the number of bundles of each denomination. All right, so you would have the students start out with base 10 blocks. And you would have them actually take 439, and then you would add 20 and see what they get. So you would physically do that. Then you would do to the chip model. Okay, and then you could go to words. And then you would eventually get to algorithms. All right, so let's draw 439. I'm going to draw the chip model a little bit different than what I did earlier, because I'm actually going to show the addition part. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a dotted line right there. It's going to be kind of like two place value houses in one. So we're going to have 439 plus 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's the 439. Now we got 20 here. And so now we simply add. So we look under here. This is equal to 400. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 9. So my answer is 459. All right, so let's see what words are. Okay, so we have 439, so you're basically taking 400 plus 30 plus 9, and you're adding to it 20. So in other words, you have 4 hundreds plus 3 tens plus 9 ones. And what you're going to add to it is you're going to add 2 tens. All right, so this becomes 4 hundreds plus 5 tens plus 9 ones, or 400 plus 50 plus 9 is equal to 459. And then eventually you hope to get to the algorithm. And so then the algorithm is where one of them, there's a couple different algorithms, is you line up your place values and you add your place values. So here's 9, 30 plus 20 is 50, and then you have 4. Okay, so I am going to continue with the second video on this example. So this ends part 1.